Hi, just gonna dive in here. This video is going to be actually inspired by one of the comments that I had seen on the comment section. So again, love the type of back and forth and putting in some really insightful thoughts that we can potentially address. So this one is inspired by Masayu Agani. If I screwed that up, I apologize. However, it's interesting because it sounds like this person is an ENFP. I think she had mentioned, and so her interest is on INTJs and getting close to them and then all of a sudden them retreating. So it's a little bit different than the idea of gaslighting. It's more something that I can definitely appreciate other types would notice from their perspective. So in this, a couple of thoughts that I brought that came to my mind right away was if you're a person that is interested in dating an INTJ, I just will speak for only myself because everyone is obviously different. INTJs, we need someone that is independent, individualistic, interesting, lots of eyes, I guess. So the first point I'm going to make is if you're noticing that an INTJ that you're interested in is retreating from you, so in whatever case, changing how you've been previously interacting, really use your gut and try not to use your prior experiences in the dating realm because we aren't the same as other people. So it won't be the same applicability for potentially interacting with an INTJ. So your gut's gonna tell you whether or not this is something that is something to do with incompatibility, or if it is something that is just part of the ebb and flow of the great love of being with an INTJ and their complexities. So using previous experiences I found in the past don't necessarily serve me well because you're applying something that, even though you've noticed over periods of time have been repeated, a lot of times it could be just the person that is inquiring. So the person that is interested in wondering why they're retreating, potentially probably putting a face on something that isn't necessarily there. So keeping an open mind is probably a benefit for you in getting kind of to the center of what your gut is saying. The other one is clingy isn't good. So I'm looking at my notes here. So don't come at an INTJ with those behaviors. So if you begin to cling more and start becoming more and more, not necessarily insecure because INTJs are insecure too, more that you are showing or giving an aura of maybe not desperation, but real intensity about something that has just been started, what the INTJ will probably notice is it's off-putting because they don't want to deal with what that kind of shows them is that they may be walking into a recurring theme here of having to put out emotional fires when INTJs aren't necessarily equipped with that. It's very draining and they have enough internal dialogue that they're dealing with, and they just want to feel the interest of reciprocity in a relationship. Next one I was going to bring up is If you do have a question that has come up in your mind and it's pretty rational rather than why aren't you talking to me, if you want to bring something up with them, do ask them, because they're going to appreciate the vulnerability it takes to open up, and you might end up on a new avenue that you would not have actually been able to get to otherwise. So vulnerability is good. It just can't be coded in things that the INTJ have dealt with in the past, where manipulation and the clingy side have lots of times been woven into that type of interaction, and they want to run for the hills on that. So vulnerability with legitimate questions, specific questions. The other one I wanted to mention is, if your question, so speaking to what I just mentioned, if your question is why aren't you wanting to spend every moment together because you guys had in the past, because you guys had a really great date or great couple of dates, really, if that is the case, like you want to keep that kind of intense face-to-face time every day, every night, all the time, that's not where an INTJ lives. You're gonna notice that's just basically an incompatibility, and it has nothing to do with you or what you bring to the table. It's more the INTJs really, for myself at least, have a strong need for going back to themselves and recharging and spending time analyzing, because not the good thing is that if we do want to spend time with you, we have already put in a ton of mental work on that. So just know that if you're wanting to maintain the everyday, let's do everything together, let's spend every waking minute together, for an INTJ, at least myself personally, it gets really redundant and really boring fast, because we would have already analyzed within the context of those interactions enough information that we've decided whether or not we want to be with you. So that's, I mean, if it's ended up on a second date, that's even better. But if there is a pressure to have to assert that, it's just a total disconnect, because our personality doesn't do that. We're much more interested in having that balance, I guess. So I think those are the key things that I thought off the cuff. Love to hear other people's thoughts on this. I do definitely appreciate that if you have ran into an INTJ that you're interested in and you are finding frustration, I'm sure you are amongst the many. And again, this is only my point of view, so I love to hear other people's comments and their experiences, because I mean, everyone's nuanced in their own way. So again, comments in the comment section if you are interested in a specific video, even if it's tied somewhat to a video prior, but you wanted more or a different angle on it, just leave it in the comments section, because I do actually get to them. It just takes a little while. Thanks so much.